friends. I'm Sarah with Dandelion Seeds Positive Parenting, and today I'm here to talk to you about picky eating. I was a super duper picky eater when I was little, so I understand this firsthand from the perspective of the child, as well as being a mama of a child who was inclined to be a picky eater. Now, I am going to start this video with a disclaimer that I am not a feeding expert. I'm just going to share some of my mama experience with you and hope that it helps. So first of all, here is something that does not work with a picky eater. And this is something that my parents tried with me when I was little. You are going to die if you do not eat this healthy food. I remember little me sitting there thinking, but I still like my macaroni and cheese and I'm going to die? Okay, that really didn't motivate me to eat a more balanced palette of foods. So let me tell you some things that I have done with my own child that have worked much better. So first of all, I make it all optional. I do not try to force feed because if we know anything about human nature, we know that nobody likes being forced to do anything. So if we want our child to resist, the best thing to do is say, you must do this. So I keep food super low key. She can eat it or not. I make it available. I also know that especially for kids, it takes a whole lot of exposure for something to feel comfortable to them. So am I okay with it if I put a little bit of food on my child's plate and she picks it up and plays with it and mangles it and mashes it and turns it into flowers and decorations on her plate? Absolutely. By all means, play with your food. Get used to the texture in your fingers because the more comfortable you are with it there, the more comfortable you'll be with it here in your mouth. So playing with the food is totally okay. I also do not believe in hiding fruits and vegetables. I believe in making them readily apparent because why on earth, if a child has only eaten hidden vegetables, would they be inclined to pick up the real deal and eat it? We want to, of course, get the nutrition into them. So there's nothing wrong with making a smoothie. There's nothing wrong with making green monster muffins. There's nothing wrong with also creating the food in a way that the child will be more inclined to eat it, but also provide regular exposure to the food in its purest natural form, just like the adults are eating it. I also see nothing wrong with making food fun. Add a condiment, add a dipping sauce, add some almond butter, add something so that your child can taste and experience a new flavor alongside something that they are already comfortable with. I don't know about you, but I like ketchup. I like almond butter. I like regular butter. Kids do too. So we shouldn't hold them to a higher standard when it comes to expecting them to eat things a certain way that even we might sometimes disguise a little bit because we simply like it better when it tastes better. Makes sense, right? Also, I encourage you to involve kids in food prep. You can, from a very early age, involve your child in stirring and mixing, in picking out the produce that you eat, in helping put the food on the plate. A lot of it is just exposure, exposure, exposure. And the last tip that I will share for today that made a big, big difference with my own child is I did not start by putting a giant, intimidating adult-sized portion of fruits and vegetables on my child's plate. I would give her a teeny tiny bit of something. I would give her the tip of a spoon dipped in something that she'd never had before, and I would simply put it on the plate alongside her other food. That was much less scary to her than what in the world is this thing on my plate and what do I do with it? So keeping it tiny makes it much less scary. Oh, what the heck, I'll throw in one final point. Let your child pick out things that you don't like and that you might not be inclined to get. I remember when my daughter was 2 years old, we were walking through a grocery store one day and I was baby wearing, I was holding her, and she reached out to grab a package of seaweed. Now, I don't like seaweed, I'm not a big fan of it, but she had to have that seaweed. So on a whim, I went, well, it's a couple of bucks. It's healthy. If she wants it, we can try it. Worst case, we find somebody to donate it to. And to this day, seaweed is one of her favorite foods. That said, on that same trip, she also reached out for a container, a veritable vat of protein powder with a picture of all people, Fabio on the front. We did not get the Fabio protein powder, but the seaweed, yes, and it's still one of her favorites. So I hope these tips help with your picky eater, and I will see you again soon.